It's hard to see through the smoke and mirrors of Hollywood, but every once in a while someone uncovers the real truth. Here are some evil lies celebrities confessed on live TV. You would hope that when you read an autobiographical book about someone, they would tell the truth. Well, we're not always that lucky. Author James Frey was once known as the successful writer of A Million Little Pieces, but that success turned sour when it was revealed that he actually lied about many of the events he wrote about. The book was supposed to be an account of the author's life. It was a book about his journey to recovery from a substance reliance. This is something that a lot of people can relate to, and so it gained a lot of traction, really taking off when Oprah Winfrey featured it on her show. When Oprah endorses something, it's because she believes in it. She trusts it. This book in particular hit home for the talk show host, as Oprah herself has admitted to once using a substance and disliking it. So when she recommended James's book on her show, she meant it. However, soon people started noticing holes in the plot, and it got to the point where author James Frey was accused of fabricating or altering events written about in the book. Eventually, he was invited back on the show to share why he wasn't entirely truthful with his writing that was supposed to be real accounts of his life story. Oprah got on the author's case about switching details around or making things up for shock value. She opened the interview with, "I have to say it is difficult for me to talk to you because I feel really duped, but more importantly, I feel that you betrayed millions of readers." A harsh statement, but herself and many who read his book certainly felt that way. The author claimed that he changed major details about people and events to simply render them unidentifiable. However, Oprah believed that he was simply just lying. She said the situation was embarrassing and disappointing for her. The conversation got a bit heated, to the point where today, Oprah has said that she slightly regrets how she handled it all, but not what she said. James Frey apparently ended up switching genres entirely after this. His days of writing the gritty realism of A Million Little Pieces are over, and he has instead moved to YA fiction, writing under the name Pittacus Lore. The world felt lied to when Jada Pinkett Smith revealed in an interview ahead of her 2023 memoir Worthy release that her and Will Smith weren't even married when he got himself banned from the Academy Awards. We all remember the Will Smith rocks Chris Rock at the Oscars, right? Well, it was clear that Smith did it because he was defending his wife. I mean, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Only if we take the memoir into account, Jada wasn't actually his wife at the time. Now, I don't mean to say that they weren't married. That actually wouldn't be true because they were married, however they were separated. The couple doesn't want to get divorced, so they are simply separated while keeping the married title. In the memoir, Jada revealed that when Will swung, the pair had already been separated for 6 years. It made people wonder if Smith reacted so strongly because he was dealing with the weight of that emotionally. No matter what, it makes that whole situation just feel so much worse than it already did. In the interview, the star also confirmed that the pair were living separately. Alec Baldwin's wife pretended to be Spanish for years, going so far as to speak with an accent and everything, despite being white and born in Boston and going to school in Massachusetts. Yeah, she actually got away with her story for a long time. It wasn't until about 2020, when everyone had the time to actually care about this, that it was revealed that she was lying about her Spanish heritage. Kind of. She claims that yes, while she might be white, she spent a lot of time in Spain, and that is how she adopted the culture. She was accused of having a fake accent. There was a pretty famous clip of her forgetting the English word for cucumber. Apparently, the city of New York has been well aware of her fake backstory and just failed to share that with the class. Robert Pattinson has a history of lying. It's more likely that every life story that he's ever told is a lie than not. My favorite lie of his comes from a 2011 morning interview he did on the press tour for the movie Water for Elephants. It's set at the circus, and I swear that's important. The interviewer asked Pattinson if he ever dreamed about being in the circus as a kid or just had good memories of the circus, to which Pattinson replied that he didn't because the first time he went to the circus, one of the clowns passed away. Of course, the interviewer was like, "Oh my god, what do you mean?" And Pattinson said that the little clown car exploded. It was terrifying and everyone had to evacuate. Obviously, the story sounds unbelievable because it was a lie. So sorry to anyone that has gone to a circus and seen a clown car explode, but this time it was a lie. But still, the interviewer asked Robert if he was telling the truth, and he said yes. The interviewer really was a super trooper for keeping up with this lying liar who lies and still managing to pull the interview back to the movie press. Maybe this lie was simply Pattinson preparing to become Batman. 11 years later, the hatred for the Joker lives within him. The lie came back to bite him during an interview for that very Batman press tour. Sitting beside Zoe Kravitz, he was asked about the Joker and his clown-related trauma, and Pattinson admitted that he has some trouble distinguishing fact from fiction, and Zoe clarified that Robert tells all these stories and now he's being asked about them and he doesn't know if they're true or not. It turns out that Robert lies all the time. All the time. It makes looking at old tween magazines, I'm talking about like the Tiger Beats, the J14s, I hope you are getting neon flashbacks right now. It makes looking at those magazines just so incredibly funny because you wonder if Pattinson is ever telling the truth at all. Not every lie he tells works out. 2009 was a big year for him lying. He said he didn't wash his hair, and headlines about that proceeded to haunt him for over 5 years. He claimed that he bored a stalker out of stalking him by taking them to dinner and complaining so much they left him alone. He said that he sometimes just says things in interviews just to have something to say. I will say though that his creativity is off the charts. It's to the point where people aren't sure if he shares real stories anymore. There was a GQ Zoom interview he did in 2020 where the interviewer listened to Pattinson discuss his latest business venture, a pasta you can hold in your hand called Piccolini Cuisino or Little Pillow, whatever that means. He demonstrated it live on camera and blew up his microwave, and the poor interviewer didn't know if he was earnest or just did a performance piece for them. I do love this interview style though, because you know when you're out and you meet somebody and you don't really want them to know who you are and you know you'll never see them again, so you just like lie about yourself for fun. I am ready for everyone in the comments to be like, no, I don't do that, you're a freak, but like when I'm reading all these stories about Pattinson, I just get him. He just happens to be creating his characters on an international scale. And this works great for celebrities because interviewers can get the clickbait material they need while Pattinson keeps the actual details of his life private, and people still love him. It's a win-win-win. And finally, the most evil lie of all, that time when Dakota Johnson admitted live on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon that she actually was allergic to limes. She lied about keeping limes in her house. Dakota Johnson has some truly iconic interview moments. I mean, actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited. Come on. But my favorite is the lime bit. In March of 2020, Johnson allowed Architectural Digest in her home for a little house tour. As she was walking us through her kitchen setup, she took a moment to acknowledge a pile of limes on the counter, saying that she loves limes, loves them, and likes to present them in her house like this. Fawning over limes is kind of funny, so of course it became like a key moment of the video, and it got to a point. Almost a year later, she zoomed into Jimmy Fallon, and he of course asked her about her seemingly lime addiction, to which she said she was actually allergic to limes. So why were there like 25 limes in her kitchen then? I'm so glad you didn't ask. Apparently it was set dressing, and they just put them there. And if you don't know what set dressing means, it typically refers to like movie sets or real estate even. It's people that come in and make a location look lived in. In this case, set dressing decided to do that with 30 limes. Thank goodness Johnson's allergy is mild. She didn't even know they were in there, and that could have ended really poorly. I'm guessing that the team is now going to be asking about allergies from now on. Johnson said that the reason she acknowledged the 35 limes was because they were just pretty hard to ignore, so she just lied. But what do you think? Let us know, and if you want more, check out the rest of the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye!